Ladies and gentlemen, two of my friends in the audience tonight have just told me they are expecting a baby. Can we have a big cheer for them, please? I won't say their names because this is going on YouTube and I don't know if she's told her mum yet. By the way, hello potential future bosses. So, hello, my name is Alex Russell. I am a space plasma physicist. It's a great job, a surprisingly disappointing pickup line. When you're at a party, meeting people for the first time, it's always one of the first questions, isn't it? What do you do? We love asking this question. I think we like it so much because it's a great way of stereotyping people. If there's one thing we enjoy, it's putting other people into boxes. Ask any undertaker. It's a question that I've had a hard time finding an answer that I'm comfortable with. I used to tell people I'm a mathematician. Big mistake. Because the one answer you get to that is, I hate mathematics! It turns out the way maths is taught at school isn't an education, it's an incitement to violence. So I thought they'd be friendlier if instead I told them I'm an astronomer. What I should have realised is the normal places you hear about stars are on TV science programmes and horoscopes, which means there are two standard responses. The first of these is, have you seen that lovely Brian Cox on the television? Brian has somehow become the handsome face of astronomy. But he's not a real astronomer. He's a particle physicist. That's like making Nick Clegg Pope. He means well. He can learn all the stories. But do not expect me to like him. The other response you get when you tell someone you're an astronomer is, so can you tell my fortune? Can I tell their future? What do you say to this? You say, yes, I can tell your future. Tonight, you are going to have amazing sex with a man with curly hair on his head. So I've got these labels, and now someone asks me this question. I say, I am a space plasma physicist, which I thought would make me sound cool. It turns out, all anyone ever says to that is, oh. It's the same problem faced by transvestite farmers. And how do you farm transvestites anyway? So what I thought might help is if I came here tonight and I told you what it is I do. So here's what you need to know about my job. Brian Cox is a dangerous liar. He told you... Big fan of it. He told you the stars are really, really far away. He lied. Because one star, the sun, is really close. 149.6 million kilometers. Okay, that may not sound like next door. But the sun is a thermonuclear fireball, 1 million times bigger than the Earth. And have you seen the health and safety report? 6,000 degrees Celsius may be a little hot to not have a sign. If you want a warning sign, how about Mercury, the innermost planet? It's not doing well on TripAdvisor. One good review, Chuck Norris and Satan on a romantic break. But the thing that scares me about the sun is it generates really strong magnetic fields. These give us sunspots and space storms. That's what I study. So first of all, you have the solar flare. Suddenly, part of the sun starts chucking out lots of ultraviolet light and X-rays. Not a big problem here on the surface of the Earth under all this lovely atmosphere, provided we don't do anything stupid like, say, destroy the ozone layer. But ultraviolet light and X-rays are a problem for astronauts. So a group of astronauts are high on the space station. Then bang! Solar flare. Hey man, do I look more suntanned to you? I don't know, but I can see Sergei's pelvis. That was an X-ray joke there, thank you for the few people who laughed. The rest of you, you don't get to come to my next physics party. The other thing a solar flare does is accelerate particles to really high energies. It's the same thing they do at CERN with a Large Hadron Collider. Now, to use a boy racer analogy, I know this is St. Andrews. If you haven't seen boy racers, on a Friday night, go down to next to the aquarium. There's 2 of them, driving circles, taking turns. But to use this analogy, if the Large Hadron Collider is a Volkswagen Golf with black alloy wheels, lowered suspension, spoiler. Blue lights underneath? Yeah? Then the sun is the Star Wars Death Star. Your top speed means nothing against that kind of firepower. Which brings us to the topic of aluminized protective headwear, or tinfoil hats. This is something that NASA has spent huge sums of money studying. Okay? Not hats exactly, but protection for astronauts, especially for missions to Mars. And it turns out that metal is a really bad way of trying to protect your astronauts. It does stop the particles, but it turns them into X-rays, cooking your astronauts. If we send people to Mars like that, the Martians are going to think we're delivering doner kebab in a tin. Turns out the best material is polythene. So if you want to be safe from solar flares, pro tip, put a shopping bag on your head. Don't stop at one, you can have a full shopping bag afro. The final scary thing about a space storm is a coronal mass ejection, or a CME. Now, if a flare is a sun fart, then a CME is a billion-ton supersonic follow-through. I'll let you digest that image. And if one of these hits Earth, being hit by one of these can actually be good news, because an average size one of these, that's when the Northern Lights come to Scotland. Northern Lights or Aurora Borealis, because this is St. Andrews after all. But the downside is that they can knock out power grids. Okay, it takes a really big one, but in 1989, 6 million Canadians were left without power. As if Canadians ever had power. It's a concern in Scotland as well. But don't worry, National Grid do have a plan. If this happens, the best way to keep Scotland safe, genuinely, is to blow up the pylons at the border with England. It's an SNP wet dream. So what do? Saving the planet from a space apocalypse. That's what I do. Thank you everyone, and good night.